Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? My name's Andrew. I'm Grandpa.
I'm Daniel.
And we're some of the Veggie Boys. And we'd like to thank you for stopping by. If you're new here, please consider subscribing because we can grow a lot of stuff on the farm, but one thing we can't grow is this channel without your help. Welcome back, everyone. It's so nice to see you right away this morning. We are getting started in the farm market. It looks as if Matthew has already got the floor all vacuumed. I'll tell you, it was a little chilly outside. I had to put on some cooler gear, but throughout the day, it's supposed to warm up a little bit, so I'll definitely be changing. Something of note is that the girls have been doing a lot of baking on the counter here. We've got all different types of cookies. And then moving into the kitchen, Grammy is gonna be in here quite often. What are you working on right now? Apple butter? Apple butter. Oh, apple butter. The time is coming for where this entire place is gonna be filled with baked goods, and then all our area in the back here is gonna be filled with baked goods as well. We used to bake every single weekend. It became way too much for us. The orders that we would receive, it's almost unbelievable how much we would get and how much time it would take to fill everything. So because of that, we've had to switch things around a little bit. We only bake at certain times of the year, and even then it's getting more and more limited. Maybe in the future we'll get back into the swing of things with a much limited baking list, but for now, that's just what we're doing. Just got everything pulled out of the cooler, and now the farm market is all set up. While we've got this going on, there is also a truck out there picking up some wheat seed that we weren't able to sell or plant. When you're on the farm, you have trucks showing up all the time, and sometimes even you're like, why's this truck here? But we knew that was coming. We got the truck all loaded up, and it is now on its way. Dad got back from the wholesaler right about the same time, so we went straight from loading up that truck into unloading Dad's. So yesterday we finished off harvest by getting our bin completely filled. Now we're not completely done with harvest, but we can't pick anymore because we have nowhere to put it. Trucks are full, we got our bin full. But while we were picking yesterday, we noticed a little bit of an issue with our combine that definitely needs to be fixed. So right here with the large tire on the left side, you will notice we are missing a lug. For whatever reason, these things decided to loosen themselves up while we were picking yesterday. Now, every time you get the combine out, there's a few things you go over. You grease the entire machine, you clean it up, you make it look nice. You tighten the lugs on the tires. That's just what you do. Now, on the list of stuff that you really are concerned about, greasing the entire machine is probably one of the most important things that we really think about, making sure our fuel and oil are okay. But lugs on the tires, never thought to be an issue. Until this year, well, as Dad was going out through the field harvesting the corn, the tire was feeling a little funny. But we got these lugs tightened up. The only issue is they were damaged because we didn't catch on to it till too late. Nothing too crazy, it's just not all the lugs will tighten up to the point that we need. So we're gonna have to pick up some new lugs. We called John Deere, we were able to get them ordered, and hopefully we can pick them up today. It's just one of those things we didn't expect to be an issue. Corn harvest has been going great. Bin's full, that's always a bonus. However, before we can get back into harvest, we really need to make sure those lugs are repaired, and the best way to do that would be getting new lugs. Threads seem to be completely fine on the machine, but it's just something we gotta watch out for. Calves are all fed, and with all the grain being dumped in, now the rest of the cattle are fed. Matthew's on a mission. See, a few days ago, someone left the door open to the chicken pen. Wasn't me. We won't point blame, but someone was feeding that night. But anyway, like I said, we won't point blame. And because, yeah, the chickens were out, we have a few chickens running around all over the place. We got most of them put back, but Matthew is on a mission to get them all back in the pen, and he's doing a good job. Said he caught 3 this morning. The only thing left to take care of is the chickens, so that means eggs collected, and I think we need a little straw in their pen, so I'm gonna run up and grab that first. the most part, every time we bed up, we try and add a little bit of straw into these nests. Thankfully, the nests haven't been too bad, which that helps to keep the eggs clean. You will see, once there's a decline in the bedding on the ground, that the chickens will start pulling straw from the nest and throwing it on the ground themselves. So to prevent that, we're just trying to keep everything bed up and keep the nests nice and comfy. I'm gonna bed up the chickens in the back. Daniel is gonna continuously gather eggs. We do have to get the other eggs yet, but he's finishing off these new chickens. The new chickens have been producing a lot of eggs, which is good, but more importantly, the size has been increasing. We've been selling these eggs for a cheaper price. I think we've been doing $1.50 for a dozen. Now, the eggs are small to medium size. We normally only sell extra large and jumbos. Well, extra large, large, and jumbos. But the small and medium eggs, it just doesn't warrant charging our normal price for those. So $1.50 a dozen is what we've been charging, and they've been moving. We just got the straw added into the pens. We got fresh feed put in here, and now the eggs have been collected. I saw a few people in the comments curious about what we do with the chickens after they slow down in production with eggs. Now on the farm, when the chickens start costing us more than what they're producing in eggs when it comes to feed, straw, and other resources, we take them to a local auction and then they're sold. Now there's all different types of people that come to this auction. We can't decide who buys our chickens, but a lot of the times it's families who are starting to raise chickens themselves. It could be people who are making soup, because these older spent hens are really good for soup. And it could also be other farmers, because most of the time when we take our chickens there, they're not done laying eggs. It's just gotten to the point where we're losing money on them. And this is a business, so we gotta make money here. We got a lot of families to feed. And then that's why we also rotate in a new batch of layers every year or every other year with what we're doing now. Sometimes it can be hard to see the chickens go, but we realize this is important and this is what we've been doing for years. We got to keep the family going. I did see a very good question. Do we use the older hens for soup? We have in the past. Let me tell you, these chickens, they are soup chickens, that is for sure. You get some nice chicken soup going. Ooh, okay, I gotta stop thinking about food. It's not even close to lunchtime. So, funny story. It is now close to lunchtime. We had to butcher some chickens. I just don't film butchering chickens. If you wanna see how to butcher chickens, there's plenty of videos about that. But we needed meat, so got that taken care of. While we were doing that, Joel has gone out and he's been mowing fields that we had gone through and harvested the corn from. Our bin, we had a little bit of trouble with it. There's a giant auger that goes down in the center to help pull the dry corn to the top, just drying everything evenly. It's working really, really good. While we've been butchering chickens, the cattle have, for the most part, all gone out on pasture. They look like they have been enjoying their day. We just have a little bit of finishing up to do, but for the most part, our afternoon has been spent mostly down around back. Now it is lunchtime, so we are gonna head up and eat though, and I'm excited. Let's see, looks like over here, we got kibasi and onions, and then over here, Grammy's frying up some pierogies. Ooh, well, I know one thing's for sure. I am ready for lunch. So for the afternoon, we had a few jobs to pick through on, well, what we wanted to do. Matthew, he ran off to do sawdust. Joel is still running our mower, cleaning off fields at the farms that we had already harvested. Daniel, I'm not too sure. I don't know what Daniel's doing. But Dad and I had two jobs to pick from. One was go pick up the parts for the combine. We're not gonna be harvesting for probably about a week, maybe not that long, but we felt like our time could be spent better right now here at the farm. When Matthew gets back, well, maybe we can send him to go and get the parts. But for now, Dad and I are gonna be closing up the sides of these greenhouses. And some of you might be thinking, well, I already thought you winterized the greenhouses. We did. We got all the water disconnected in here. All our wrens have been disconnected so they don't bust. But just because a greenhouse is wintered, essentially, doesn't mean it's closed down for the year. See, the greenhouses we have roll-up sides on them, which are beneficial for many reasons. Reason number one, if it gets too hot in here, we can open up the sides and the breeze can just blow through. And there's other reasons, but That's basically the biggest one. So what we have to do is take our little metal brackets that we have and go along the bottom of our roll-up sides and fix the plastic fast to the greenhouse so we don't have to worry about it flopping all winter long. We have to go along this top side of the greenhouse, and we have the other side. And that's to prevent any of these sides from flopping too hard and tearing the plastic, which, believe me, has happened before and is a big headache, which we would not like to repeat. But I cannot get started till I find my big hammer that I need. Oh man, I walked into one of those weeds that they stick to you, and now I'm covered. Not good. It's a certain type of pain you get from having these things on your clothing. And then you don't realize they're there until it's too late. And then you're covered in them. Let's see, hammer, I know you're in here. Gotta check every drawer till you find it. These are like one of those hammers that you just feel really cool holding one. I don't know what it is. These are nice hammers. What's great is everything that we need is right here in the gutter.
Watch these things.
Yeah, I know. My clothes are covered in them already, but we keep everything right here in the gutter system so we can never lose it. Look at that. We got what we need. You're getting them all over you. You got all that stuff all over you. Aunt Rhonda was calling them hitchhikers. So here's what we have. Our little metal pieces. And I already told you what they're for, just to basically stop these from flapping. But it's gonna go in here. There's a little metal lip that they hook on. We just hold them down and hammer them in, and it stops the flopping. That's what we want, to stop the flopping. So we're just gonna take the hammer and tap, 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 tap. We already got the first two in. As you move down a little further, it gets easier because you don't have to be laying on the ground. But until then, it's not an easy job. Sometimes you need the hammer, sometimes you need the tool. Both work great to get the job done. So we've now got the side closest to the road all taken care of. That was very hard to film. It never wants to work when you're filming. But we got all our little brackets put in along here. Hopefully that'll be good. We have a cold front coming up. The wind's gonna be blowing really hard, and yeah, just don't want any of this plastic to rip. That is not fun if the plastic rips. Now this is the opposite end of the largest greenhouse. There's not too much in the way, and it's pretty easy to access it the whole way across. At the other end, it does get a little bit of a reach, but it shouldn't be too bad. You can see once you push the plastic up and against right where the spot you need to be is, right along here. This side goes in so much easier. Well, it's not the most glamorous work on the farm, but it's another job done. Now we don't have to worry about our largest greenhouse blowing anywhere. We still have the greenhouses down over the hill, but because of where they're located, it's not as big as a worry. If we start getting really bad weather, then we'll think about it. But for now, we're good. With the bad weather, we feel like it's a good idea to take our auger and lower it. We've been loading corn up into the bin, but there's a good chance that this thing could fall over because, well, we've seen it happen before. Yeah, we weren't happy, but we're lowering it because of all the wind that's coming. You ever seen one of these things fall over?
No, I haven't, but I've heard of it.
It looks like most of the cattle are in pasture. We do have a few of the smaller ones here, but everybody else is over on the hill eating grass. Getting in that last little bit of fresh grass before winter gets here. I say that's a good idea. Now that we're finished with the greenhouses, we got that auger moved around. I've got to take a little ride on the side-by-side and see if we have parsley out in the fields. Parsley is one of those crops that will not be destroyed by a freeze, but we haven't been out there to see how it looks. So now's the time to go and look. Some days it's nice just to take the scenic route. This is what I wanted to see. Oh, there goes a red-tailed hawk. He has something. I don't know what. Yeah, right here. This is what I wanted to look at. Now we have two different types of parsley. We have a curly leaf and a flat leaf. And I think this stuff looks good enough to harvest. Tastes like parsley. I would call this little section of field I'm in right now probably the graveyard. Right where I'm at now were some pickling cucumbers and regular cucumbers. And then over here, this was all peppers as far as the eye could see. Now what's interesting here is we see the mulch is already starting to break up. It's made up of cornstarch, so that's what it's supposed to do. It's biodegradable. The only thing we're gonna have to come and do is take out this right here. This line is nut, so we're gonna take that line out and then we'll end up recycling it. We have used it in the past for other things, but we've noticed after the first year, it starts to break and then you get leaks everywhere and it's just not worth it. You guys haven't seen it out here for quite some time. Yeah, we've stopped harvesting early this year for some crops. The peppers, most importantly, they were done really early. But it just goes to show you, we still have some life out here in these fields. Besides the cold crops, this is about what we're gonna be able to pick, but it's here, so the girls will be happy to know that. Yeah, it's amazing how fast the seasons change where we live. Feels like just the other day we were going along here picking tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers. I miss it. It's a lot of work, but when it's gone, oh, do we miss it. Alrighty, everybody. We are now home. We got the farm market all closed up. Yeah, so we're gonna get ready for dinner. It is actually date night, so we got two options. One is make some chicken noodle soup, or two, get Thai food. I mean, come on. I love Thai food. But anyway, that means this is where we're gonna end the video today. I'd like to thank everyone for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.